Still starting from the side into what's now called Uki Gatame, floating or straddle hold. Uki, U-K-I, the word means to, a lot of people in judo call it like floating technique. It doesn't mean to float through the air, like a cloud. What it means is to straddle something. Straddling his body, okay? And that's the concept. For many years, up until about 1970s or so, this was just a variation of Uki Gatame. They really didn't have a specific name for it, to my knowledge. Now, I may be wrong on that, but I remember started hearing this as Uki Gatame somewhere in the early 70s, so that's how it's come to be known that. And it is a good hold, and we're going to talk, there are a couple of variations of it, okay? So I'm hearing, in Uki Gatame we had, but Uki Gatame is what the Brazilians call the neon belly or the neon torso, neon chest or whatever. And so our application is, when we've taken them down, bam, we've taken them over, turned them, we want to have, this is our wedge here, okay? Right along the hip line, because I want to control his hips, okay? Now my knee is going to be right across the belly, okay? Now, I've got to have some, there's a control point right there. That's the wedge right there, okay? But see how my foot is jammed under his near hip, and I lean into it. So you can see that there. And I lean into it, okay? And that's important, okay? So there we have that.
You're actually
now
pushing.
The shin is right across his belly, right across the belt line or the gut line. I like, and if you can do it higher, that's fine. Anywhere you exert pressure, everybody has a little different variation, cool, okay? Now, what I'm going to do with the other hand, and my other arms and stuff, is I can hold here temporarily, or I can just push on him, which I prefer to do because I get a good handle here. So there's the handle there, and grab the arm. Okay, see how I'm just basically standard grip, isn't it? Okay? Now at this point I pop up, and I post. Okay, now I could be down here on my knees, that's fine too. That's great. All right, but if I post here like that, and I'm trying not to put any pressure on Derek, but there's the hold, okay? Or you can pull up. I saw a guy, Dave Burns, who was a very, very good judo man back in the 70s. He held a guy in a judo tournament with this hold for 30 seconds back in those rules. The guy had everything squeezed out of him. Dave rode him for 30 seconds. The guy actually tapped out closer. It was, like wasn't the full 30 seconds, but Dave was literally riding this guy like this, but he was actually pulling up on him. Like that, and he pulled him into it and made the guy give up from the pressure. And he was just stuck, so it really does work. That's the standard variation of it. Can you do that on Steve? Then I'm going to show some other stuff. So that's the basic Uki Gatame, okay? But notice the key thing there is wedge. That's the thing that hurts him, okay? That's pressure. And he's holding, okay, I grab his arm to standard just to show the standard. And there's your standard, okay? Now, how many things can we do to this guy from there? Isn't it nice? Look at the arm locks. Oh, we love Uki Gatame from here. The chokes. Look at all this stuff. So, yeah, any way you want to hold him, you don't have to hold him that way. You could hold like a Uki Gatame to go back to that. See, it's still Uki Gatame. Get that knee across there. That's the key thing. You're straddling him. All right. Make that hurt. Okay. So it's a very painful hold in and of itself. That's the basic concept of it right there. Okay. And again, you switch into a juji. Go ahead and, because I know that's where you're going. Guess what? Oh, that's very nice. So you see, that's a really nice, advantageous osai komiwaza. Again, you may not have to hold them very long here. Okay? You go right on top of it. Look at all the things you can do from Uki Gatame. It's a very versatile thing. And it's a big thing. I don't know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you guys do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to get some points for that, right? Mm-hmm. That position? Yeah. And then that's why they do it, because it is a really good move. Okay? Now, that's the basic. All right? Come to a leg press position, and we'll just do the regular straddle pin like we do with our series. So here's another way of doing it. Steve, grab your arms together. Okay, so here's a variation of it that's a common one, and I'll just show you this one here. So Derek has the leg press position, and we do this a lot here at Welcome Mat. And what we're going to do is, if I can't pry the arms free, can't lever the arms free, what I can do is I can go up to a straddle hold, Uki Gatame, and he's going to do it right now. There's your Uki Gatame. Now, see how he's pulling us here? And now, some people, see how he likes it, his preference is to have a base out here. I got longer legs, and it seems to work for me. No, I have my base up under the neck. So, everybody's a little different, but the key thing here is the leg across the chest now, straddling. So it's a straddle hold, osai komi, it's Uki Gatame. So there you have it. And now from here, if he says, oh, geez, I'm being held, I don't like that, and Eric can flip back over into a juji or something else, you know, whatever he wants to do then, and he catches it. Or he can switch right back up to a tate. Go from straddle hold to tate. See how it transitions right to a vertical pin? Okay? So all kinds of things you can do there. So the straddle hold, Uki Gatame, is a very versatile hold down. And one of those, again, that lends very quickly to a submission technique. So there's your variation that we do a lot here. Okay? So the knee on belly basically is the classic one. And let's work on that. And then we'll work on the one where it's literally straddle across the torso. Everybody got that? We good on it? You need to see either one again? Or you good?
Can we see the knee on belly?
Knee on belly again? Sure.
Again.
And there are a lot of different, you know, like you talk to a lot of guys who do BJJ, they like this move a lot, so they have a lot of variations of it. But I'm just showing the basic. The key thing to remember is your knee, that's the straddle, right across the belt line or the gut line. Some guys like higher into the chest. Some guys will put that right in there against the ribs and make it hurt more. Whatever it takes, you have your own preference. There you go, like that. You know, can opener with it, you know. So all that cool stuff can be done. Or you don't even have to post your leg out. You can just be on both knees and holding them like that. Okay, that's cool too. Okay, but there are a lot of see that? There are all kinds of variations from that because that is a very discomforting, uncomfortable thing to have happen to you. Because the idea, again, here's a good case where one of the reasons we do Osai Komi Waza is to make him give up from the pressure of the hold. I think that might do it, okay? So that's the standard one there, okay? All right, let's work on those and we'll move on.
I got this from Steve initially off of a Uki Gatame. So you'd be holding like this, and if he was shrimping in a whole bunch, you can catch the armpit or that side of the pec, and then you post right there, and you've got a nice time pin, right? It's kind of nasty, okay? But if we combine that with the Uki Gatame, it gets really nasty. So we're here in our leg press position. We set up the Uki Gatame. I like to grab the belt or the back of the pants, okay? Kick back, lean forward, okay? And then when you're ready to, you come through, take the head up and grab the armpit again, which starts to get you a nice neck crank.
Well, possibly you can grab your own ankle if you wanted to. If you know.
You can grab your own ankle too.
Yeah, but that's a little higher. It hurts more there.
Yeah, I like that because it's a little bit higher. And then you make it even worse by reaching back through the guy's leg, and then you can kind of sit back and bridge him if you need to, or you can cut through to the other leg, grab the other leg, and just lean that way.
So you're bending. That's why people tap out.
You want mustard with that pretzel or what?
Yeah. So that is a real good example of Uki Gatame being used to make him submit just from the pain of the hold. Now, in a judo sense, maybe the sambo sense, the neck is popped up a little high, but okay, you can let off a little bit and just add more pressure to the torso, if that's the case.
So if we're doing it this way, okay, you're just going to let off a little bit, and you're not going to crank them way up here, really crank that way. What we're going to do is we're just going to let off on the forward pressure a little bit, and then we can grab some pant leg, we can grab the other pant leg and just kind of sit back a little bit and hold them. Okay, and it's still pretty damn uncomfortable, especially if you start pulling this backwards.
Okay. So that's a good example of Uki Gatame to make a guy tap out from the hold. You can see how this really has, but notice, be careful to do some things. When he's going to go for the straddle hold of Uki Gatame, notice the change here. This is anchor, okay? Now, he does that. Now he reaches up and see how he's straddling here. Now, some guys have their knees a little closer to the head. You have that real tight in, okay? Some guys have a little wider base. You see out here is posting. Guys, play with this. It's a really skilled move. It really is. What's that?
I said diaphragms are for wimps.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But just remember, you want to be able, if you want to shift back on to get your juji, you want to have this back leg close enough that you can swing it up quickly.
How susceptible are you to bridging on that?
Yes.
You can be knocked off with a bridge?
You can be knocked off the bridge.
Okay, that's what I was just kind of noticing.
awfully good at
you're
the bridge.
shifting your weight like right over
It's
there.
a bit precarious. You've got to shift your weight to sit right on his torso,
Yes.
right on his diaphragm. Literally sit on his diaphragm and ride it.
Exhale makes yourself heavier.
This is like the epitome of riding, and for me at least, because you're literally surfing on him while he's bucking around on you, and just trying to figure out which direction you can go with it.
And as you guys, you'll feel this. You know, the Japanese say you have to feel your judo or feel your jiu-jitsu or whatever. It's true. When you're on top here and in Derek's position, you may have to do some minor things to adjust your weight, shift it back and forth to keep them where you want them. And that's why we practice. We'll be working on that.
And that's probably why he's grabbing the leg.
Yeah, and you can be gaining more control by getting another handle with a body part or something. And then when you're ready, you can go to something else or shift back to your Uki Gatame. Okay? So you've got a lot of options here. It's a great move. All right? And it's called Uki Gatame Straddle Hold. Okay? And
that's why you're talking about the floating.
Yeah, that's the floating. You're not floating on it, you're
Floating.
straddling it in this
Got it.
case. Right, right. Want to practice it? Let's give it a try.
Okay, so this happens a lot out of the straddle, and not really sure why, but it's a common way to try and get out of it, and it just kind of makes it easier to juji him. So we're gonna go to the straddle. You can even use it as a fake if you want. Fake going to the straddle, he'll react, and then you sit back into a juji. So I've got it. Again, he's a stud. Arm ain't going anywhere, okay? So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna hook, okay, lean forward, kick back. All right, Mike knows what's coming, so he's gonna turn this way. That makes getting the bent arm lock a little bit more difficult because I have to put his shoulder all the way back there. Okay, he's got a lot of range of motion. He might be super bendy in his arm. I'm not even gonna try it from this position. But what he has given me is a really easy way to sit back into juji again, okay? He's rolled forward, I've already got this foot down, okay? Scoop again, okay? And there, I can either go up like this and grab my gi, grab my shoulder, uppercut it. Sometimes if I'm doing no gi, I'll put it down and kind of, half him, what do they call it, half Nelson, okay? As soon as I get that, whichever way I decide to do it, okay, I'm gonna put that foot up and then just step around. Once I collect his head, you sit right back into juji, okay? And the difference between this and this is that I have all of that gravity working for me. Okay, I've got momentum on my side now. So when I hook this and sit back, it pops free for me because all my weight is now going to pull that back instead of just shoulder and back power.
And see also, guys, see how he trapped Mike's arm so tightly to his chest and, torso there. See, now Mike is rolling away, resisting, trying to get away. Derek is literally hugging his arm to his chest, Mike's arm to his chest. And now, and notice his left leg is across the torso with control there. And see that? So it's a good control there, and he's like stepping. Now all he's going to do is kick his right leg over, roll back, and the body weight's going to roll him back into releasing the arm. This is an old, tried and true way of setting a guy back into a juji. You're really baiting him into getting his arm.
And then, once you get used to this position and he rolls over, then you can have all kinds of other fun, like,
so you roll him over to head roll juji,
finish up.
which believe me has been done. It's a great move, So there are a lot of variations there once you've got that. Again, this is how strong the leg press is. This is why, and then we work into the straddle, which is directly from the leg press. We kick over. Look at that, so you got another release. So you can see how many variants you can do in the juji.
All kinds of different ways to get it from there. The
Okay.
key is you're moving back and forth fluidly. You're transitioning between your pins. Okay, don't get married to one. Try them all out, okay?
Okay, you notice how